Oh, your boy Ho, H to the OV. Oh yeah, we finna get into it now. As people are turning on Jay-Z, they're blaming him for things. We're gonna get into why he was really denied for the casino and this new album update. You see, that's another big squeeze, the big ooh ah. Jay-Z got a new album. We're going to get into all of that, plus stuff you haven't even paid any attention to or even noticed. So get ready, because it's going to come hot and heavy, because everybody knows that boy Hove ain't been on the up and up in a minute. Yep. So I want to say shouts out to everybody out there. Don't forget to subscribe to the page, hit the notification bell. We got memberships coming up. If they're not already there for you, it's gonna be hot, hot and heavy. Yes, sir. And for the Patreon brothers, you already know what we're about to do. Well, they often say, don't judge a book by its cover, judge it by what it's getting ready to do. And the contents of it, or the context. Now, these powerful billionaires and white guys who all believed in Jay-Z, who he's partnered with and tied himself to, who gave him these corporate deals because Jay is not like the other guys. Jay is more like us, right? In a sense, he's not like the other guys. He's like us. So they've come to trust Jay, the billionaire boys clubs, and all their little house meetings. Jay has always wanted to be one of them, one of them. And it's been paying off for him. He's been earning great dividends being one of them, one of them, one of them. But now the tables have turned. And he turned, felt like I'm in a position where I can go to war with some people in New York and do what I want to do. So he got with the Cartier family. Oh boy, it's getting hot. So we about to get into it. Drop the intro. Hi, I'm Carcino. Oh, let's talk about it. Let's talk about it.
No one knows Carcino and none of these.
There's so much going on in the world, and I'm just giving my 2 cents on it. Go in and do a raid at someone's house, but you don't have an arrest warrant for them. All of this so-called unwanted attention that was coming into fruition, people were blaming Diddy. Diddy ruined it for Jay. Jay had all this going and they was going to prove it. It's Diddy because of his attachment to Diddy. That messed up the casino because they don't want Diddy attached to the casino. Stop. This is all lies, ladies and gentlemen. Diddy has nothing to do with that casino in New York. He's not on the board. He's not a secret partner member. He has nothing to do with that whole proposal that was going on. So when Jay-Z joined the liquor brand and went to the luxury liquor with Ace of Spades, he had all of this financial backing, right? from the majors, from the big time players in the game. But what Jay was lacking and what Jay didn't have under control is what he thought he had the power over the New York underbellies. Like they had all of this control in New York City to get him the approval he wanted. And the people around him are in massive fights right now. The people that's backing him, they have other wars on the table. See, that's stuff they're not really telling you about. Let's take this, for example, as I'm going to show you right here. This is the United States versus Live Nation Entertainment. Live Nation versus the United States of America. The DOJ is suing Live Nation. They just paid out $20 million in an antitrust, and they still getting hit with other lawsuits because of they brand with Ticketmaster. You see, what they did was go through an extreme with Ticketmaster to try to get so Live Nation and Ticketmaster are one company, but they split them up as if they're two. And Live Nation would ask Ticketmaster or ask the people who at the venue that they must use Ticketmaster, which is, again, them. And they run about 73% of all tickets sold for every concert, which is basically a monopoly over the game. So they're being sued by the federal government because Ticketmaster is supposed to have a limit on prices. And what happened is they end up screwing all of the investors on these concert tickets. And now that all these concert tickets end up going by with Live Nation, they also manage all of the talent in these acts. They manage Beyonce, they manage a lot of these artists, Jay-Z, Taylor Swift, like a lot of them, Live Nation is managing. And so it's a conflict of interest. So you're managing all of these and you're using deceptive pricing by letting some weird company come in and buy way more than they're supposed to over the limit, then jack up the price and sell them at a high rate when hundreds of millions of dollars are being scammed from the people. And the federal government is suing them. So Live Nation is not in a position to fight right now. They're in a bad boat. Oh, yeah. So they're in a bad boat. Yeah, where's everyone else going to be? It's only going to keep getting worse. That's the part people just don't see. As you're looking at it right now.
And misrepresenting the total price of tickets to reap nearly every live concert from arenas to stadiums under fire again this morning. The FTC in 7 states filing a lawsuit that accuses Ticketmaster and its parent company Live Nation of secretly adding mandatory fees and misrepresenting the total price of tickets to reap massive profits. The agency also says the company has known for years that ticket brokers were scooping up thousands of tickets for events and then reselling them at a markup, breaking Ticketmaster's own rules about ticket limits, leading to hundreds of millions of dollars in revenue.
Once ticketing went online, it became much easier for scalpers and secondary market to game the system. And that is what Live Nation is up against.
Criticism of Ticketmaster exploded in 2022.
I'm not getting tickets. This is the biggest disaster I've ever seen on Ticketmaster.
The system crashed the day Taylor Swift's Eras Tour tickets went on sale.
I just really wanted to see Taylor.
It was so bad, Swift herself lashed out, calling the experience excruciating and writing, "It really pisses me off." And now add some Ariana Grande fans to the list as well.
Ticketmaster, you're actually testing me so bad today.
Tickets for her upcoming Eternal Sunshine Tour gone in minutes, then popping up on secondary ticket sites for much higher prices.
And this Ariana situation has been so horrible.
Grande writing on Instagram, "I have been on the phone every second of my free time, fighting for a solution."
Now, as you can see, this problem is ongoing. And Live Nation is in a big fight with the Department of Justice. And I want you to see who is the judge in the case. Assigned to Aram Subramanian. Now, that name sounds very familiar, don't it? Subramanian, isn't that the judge in the Diddy case? So the judge that's doing the Diddy case got this case. It was assigned to Judge Subramanian. Now, make that make sense. And nobody's talking about it. Now, Jay-Z was denied by a board of 6 people. And you know those 6 people are called the Community Advisory Board, aka CAB. And the CAB's job is to decide, is it worth it for the community to do what's best? Ethics, purpose. That's what they're about. They've got researchers. They have to decide which powers can invest in the community. And they was like, we got to understand about education, training, research, participation, the development, where is it going to be developed, the guidelines, participants, sufficient consent, emergency situations. These are some of the examples on what a person that's in this board is supposed to be thinking about. They're there to hold up the ethics, okay, to make sure that this is not a risk to the communities. So they have researchers to go out and make sure that this is going to be all right. Now that everybody's attention is here, let's go over some details. Now, you got to dig a little further to get to the worms. You might be asking yourself, well, who are these people? That's right. So you can already smell that this is a setup or this is a sabotage. So Live Nation has been busy with all these other fights to be focused on Jay-Z right now in the casino. Their main concern is fighting the federal government and what's happening with this Ticketmaster scam. So Rock Nation is still, this affects them too, because they're being managed by Live Nation. So they don't really have the time for all of this because of what's been going on. So that leaves Jay just basically out there. Mm-hmm. Well, it's a lot of moves that Jay did that kind of irritated a lot of people. So when you start looking at all of the scenarios that's going on, and you say, well, what actually happened? And they said the reasoning for it is that the broadcast league or whatever for the people downtown Broadway, it's going to be an interference for them. It's going to be in the way for them. They're not going to like it. So they took a vote and they only had 2 of the votes. And they had the mayor and the governor signing off, thinking that they would over and supersede the concerns from the Broadway and theater community. Now, the Broadway and theater community which is called the Broadway League, they own and put together the CAB, which is the Community Advisory Board. The Broadway League, that's the league of the organization. That is a trade association, basically a union. They run everything. They got like Teamsters, mobsters. They got everybody in this thing. And most of them is with the Rainbow Crew. And here's the guy who's at the head of it, Jason Lax. This man runs the Tony Awards. He's the president. This is the man that turned down Jay-Z. He's the one that says, oh, no, you're not. You're not getting that casino. You have to go through me to get it. They tried to go over his head because they got the mayor and the governor. They elect the mayors and the governors. They dictate what happens there, not the mayor and the governor. The mayor and the governors are pawns, and they just found that out in the weirdest way. How did you not know about the unions and the bosses the pockets you're going to have to grease in order to get that casino done? You screwed all of this up by trying to go over the head of the people that matter because you don't know his name, because you don't know he's got power. You thought it was going to be easy. You thought this was going to be sweet. You thought we got Jay-Z and all this. We got all these billions of dollars coming in. There's no way. They don't care about your money. This is like Casino. Remember Casino when Rothstein told him he couldn't have his nephew in the casino no more? And that old guy came in and to get his job back and said, man, I know he's dumb as a thing of rocks, but he's my nephew, man. Can you find some other mundane task for him to do? I would really consider that a favor for me. And he said, nope, I just can't have him around. And that guy showed him his power. He went in to get a license for a casino. He knew everybody on the board. He knew all the people there. And he said, and when he went in for the board, they didn't even give him a fair hearing. That's how that was when they walked in there. And that dude was going off, yelling and screaming, just like Sam Rothstein. You told me I was going to get a fair trial. And that guy was sitting right there like, See? Because you looked at me and saw me in our old cowboy hat, didn't realize that I know this whole town. See, you guys, you know, we run the things here. When you was out slinging your little dope on the side of hustling, we was running the big time show. We playing the big boy game. So the game you've been playing, I don't mean nothing to us. That's like junior league stuff. Ain't worried about that. Now, Nas Casino can get greenlit, but not Jay-Z's. Now, you're going to have to ask yourself why. Because of where the location is. Location, location, location. And because the mayor and the governor says it's okay, Jay didn't even realize that's a setup. The mayor and the governor already knew it was going to get shut down. But, yeah, they'll take your money. They'll take all your money and they'll do what they're going to say they're going to do. They're going to be, we're going to approve it. We'll give you the approval, and you didn't grease these dudes' pockets. You can't ask them for the money back because they did their jobs. The mayor signed off on it and the governor signed off on it. So you basically paid them for their signatures. They knew it was going to get turned down, but they're going to get the money off you anyway. It's a setup. Of course, they didn't want a casino down there. They didn't want a casino down there because they think that's the traffic that's going to mess up the theater night, Broadway. And then you're going to have a bunch of unsavory people just going to the casino, lounging downtown while they're trying to bring in their billion-dollar people to Broadway, international people, and they don't want them running into hooligans talking about, God damn! Man, I had it, dog. I told you. Let me roll. Damn, I gotta get a cab. What's up, homie? This your cab? Oh, no, sir, you can have that one. He said the same way Senator Clay Davis took Stringer Bell's money in the wire. Pretty much, that's what these politicians do. They'll say they'll do their part, but they know it gets shut down. It's like, I can get it to his desk, but I can't guarantee you what he's going to do. And it's up to you to know what the situation is going to be. You paying for something that you ain't finna get no results for. Who knows what they gave the governor and the mayor? But whatever they gave, they can't get it back. Just give me, why don't you give me the world? Give me what you can't get back. For the 5 boroughs. So they made it a position And people were not happy with what happened with Jay-Z as far as when it started to turn with the Kaepernick situation.
That comes with him to work with them. Roc Nation Sports was signed to work on the halftime shows and, quote, amplify the league's social justice efforts. There were also rumors that Jay-Z was going to buy his own NFL team, too. This NFL deal led to a now famous press conference where Jay-Z was asked about Kaepernick.
I think that I think we take it back. I think that we forget that Colin's whole thing was to bring attention to social injustice, correct? So in that case, right, this is a success, right? This is the next thing, right? Because there's two parts of protesting. You go outside and you protest, and then the company or the individual say, I hear you. What do we do next? Right? So for me, it was like actionable item. What are we gonna do with it? Like everyone heard, and we hear what you're saying, and everybody know I agree with what you're saying. So what are we gonna do? You know what I'm saying? So reach millions and millions of people, or we get stuck on Colin not having a job.
Then Jay-Z was asked if he would take the knee.
Okay, I think we've passed kneeling. Yeah, I think it's time to go into actionable items.
Do you want people to stop kneeling?
No, I don't want people to stop protesting at all. Kneeling, I know we're stuck on it because it's a real thing, but it's a form of protest. I support protests across the board. We need to bring light to the issue. I think everyone knows what the issue is, and we're done with that. Everyone knows what you know what the issue is? You know why we were kneeling? Okay, do you know the issue? Yeah, do you know the issue? Yes, we all know the issue now. Okay, next, where are we moving on next? And I'm not, again, so to be clear for the room, I'm not minimizing that part of it because that has to happen. That's a necessary part of the process. But now we all know what's going on. What are we going to do?
Kaepernick's former teammate, Eric Reed, was disgusted by these comments.
For you to get paid to go into an NFL press conference to say that we're past kneeling, again, asinine. Jay-Z claimed to be a supporter of Colin and wore his jersey, told people not to perform at the Super Bowl because of the treatment that the NFL did to Colin, and now he's going to be a part owner. It's kind of despicable. Colin lost his job because of protesting for justice. Us fighting for Colin to get a job is returning him to the status quo of being an employee.
Shannon Sharp made the point that there were people who had followed Jay-Z's boycott, but now witnessed Jay-Z working with the NFL.
It was reported that he reached out to Jermaine Dupri because the NFL asked Jermaine Dupri, who's from Atlanta, to produce the halftime show.
Yep.
And it was reported that Jay-Z called him and told him to bow out. Now, you're going to ask him to bow out. Hey, man, hey, Skip, check this out, bro. I can't do that, man. I ain't going to go do that. All right, you know what, Shannon? That's good. I'm going to ride with you, bro. And then come to find out, Skip. I'm like, Skip,
Yeah. Well,
Jay-Z knows how this works. He knows how it is in community, how it looks. Like you went behind their back when you said no, and you all the while you're trying to maneuver. Maybe he was trying to maneuver himself into a more favorable position that would give him a little more leverage, because it's like, look, guys, I don't know if you can get a guy that's any more respected in the African-American community than I am, that have the assets that eventually I could be an owner.
Kenny Still from the Dolphins was of the mind of, let's see how this goes.
For the most part, what I'm trying to say to people is that let's work towards solutions, and let's wait and see what goes down from this deal. We can't really tell right now. It doesn't sit right with me. I don't think that it was handled the right way, but you never know.
And in fairness to Roc Nation, they definitely did transform the halftime show. 2022 felt like a real moment with Dr. Dre and Snoop Dogg playing in Inglewood and Mary J. Blige getting her flowers too. But the sports journalist Jamil Hill pointed out that, like Jay-Z's projects before, this helped on an individual level, but not at a collective level.
Because at the same time, I love Black artistry and excellence celebrated. And hip hop, again, deserved that stage. Black people deserve that stage because we're the epicenter of music. But I wonder, it's like, was it worth it? You know, it's worth it for the individual artists that we're able to, you know, without doing anything, like Mary gets a Pepsi tour out of it. Like, yes, it does work individually. Does it work collectively and community based? Does it work? And sometimes we give access to our culture that they don't deserve. And I don't think we give it up easily, but I think we give it up all with the same game plan. We'll be like, oh, yeah, we'll do it because we can change the system from within. And I don't know if that's always true. I think it needs both. Inside pressure, outside pressure.
The 2025 halftime show can be looked at in two ways. Kendrick Lamar put in an almost historical halftime show alongside people like Samuel L. Jackson, Serena Williams, and SZA. But given that the show was in the city of Louisiana, Lil Wayne seemed like a more fitting headlining act. Lil Wayne told Rolling Stone magazine that he was hurt by the decision and that he felt that the NFL had led him on. To perform, it's a bunch of things they're going to tell you to do and not do. Ask to kiss and not kiss. If you notice, I was a part of things I've never been a part of, like Michael Rubin's all-white parties. I'm doing stuff with Tom Brady. That was all for that. You ain't never seen me in them types of venues. I ain't Drake. I ain't out there smiling like that everywhere. I'm in the studio, smoking, and recording. Jay-Z's success with the NFL is debatable, and because of his legacy in music, it's tempting to give him the benefit of the doubt. His casino, meanwhile, is very difficult to defend. In December of 2022, Jay-Z's Roc Nation partnered with SL Green Realty and Caesars Entertainment to propose a casino resort in Times Square.
Now, here we go. From the beginning, in 2022, December 7th, that's how long they've been working on this casino. So this is nothing that's not new. Everybody know what time it is. They know the situation. They know how it's going. It was opposed by the Broadway's producers the moment it was brought up. So you know who you got to deal with. When you try to go over their head and do anything, if anybody, dog, if you have a problem with somebody on the job, right, and they got a problem with you and they don't come talk to you at all and tell you they even got a problem, they go straight to the supervisor. And you be like, for real? That's what we doing? You didn't even have the gall. You didn't even have the gall to even say something to me. You go straight to the supervisor. People will be upset. But why wouldn't they? Well, let's hear what he got to say.
Statement he wrote, New York is a beacon, the epicenter of culture. We have the opportunity to create a destination at the heart of Times Square, the true crossroads of the world. My partnership with SL Green and Caesars, this coalition has all the promise and commitment to economic opportunity, growth, and enrichment for the community and everyone who visits the Empire State. So Jay-Z promised that this would bring jobs to the community, economic growth to the area, and people could also enjoy themselves in the casino. Their central argument was that New York was awarding 3 casino licenses. Resorts World and MGM were the obvious favorites, and there was a remaining casino license that was up for grabs. Among the competitors for this third license, Roc Nation claimed that they had the community's better interests at heart. This is why Jay-Z became the face of this project, rather than Mark Holliday, the CEO of SL Green, one of the biggest commercial real estate owners in Manhattan.
He was the one screaming in court. That's why he was the one screaming in court, because he couldn't believe it. He got the mayor. Yeah, you got the mayor and the governor. Mm-hmm. Straight like that. Now, they use Jay-Z to be the face.
And the central question was, did Jay-Z and Roc Nation really have the community's best interest at heart? A union of Broadway theater workers known as the Broadway League set up a coalition of residents, businesses, community organizations who were vehemently against the casino. Instead of Roc Nation's claim that this was good for the community, they found research that 67% of Midtown residents opposed it. And instead of benefiting the community, the casino could actually be harmful. On their website, it states, research shows that, Las Vegas aside, casinos don't meaningfully drive new tourism. Instead, they act as magnets for local gamblers and prey on vulnerable populations. A Times Square casino would bring economic and social disruption, not development, and make our community less welcoming to families from all over the world. They also mentioned that this would be harmful to the Broadway theater community. After a long recovery from the pandemic, visitors have rediscovered the allure of the theater and have returned to the restaurants around Times Square. Casinos are built to keep visitors inside their doors as long as possible, patronizing their own restaurants, shops, and entertainment venues at the expense of the 90,000 plus jobs nearby businesses support. Roc Nation soon released a statement about their bid, which said that they had, quote, a track record of turning words into deeds, of putting New York City and its residents first, people of all races, religions, ethnicities, genders, orientations, and socioeconomic statuses. New Yorkers in every corner of every borough, all of us. The winning organization must have a history of campaigning for fair hiring, representation, and reform. Hate, as well as groups that have a history of oppressing the most vulnerable, have no place in New York. Roc Nation addressed the concerns from the theater industry and wrote, our bid commits $115 million for diverse theater programs that include daycare for Broadway workers and their families. Any worries that this casino would lead to an increase in crime was supposedly mitigated by Roc Nation's plan to invest money into sanitation and security from the bow tie all the way west into Hell's Kitchen. What Roc Nation failed to mention is that their competitors were not trying to build casinos in Times Square, but other areas of New York. Other bidders suggested casinos in arguably more suitable areas like Coney Island or Citi Field. Alongside this, Rick Strom from TYT Sports pulled up some pretty damning evidence of the economic benefits of casinos.
Jonathan Krutz, an emeritus professor at Boise State University who has studied casinos for 30 years, would publish a paper that studied casinos from the years 2002 to 2017 and over 39 states. He found that local economies with casinos did not experience faster growth in retail sales than those without casinos. He would conclude that casinos didn't typically attract new money, cannibalizing from existing businesses instead. Furthermore, Lucy Dedayan, a senior research associate with the Urban Institute, a research organization, would say the benefits of casinos are quite short-lived, and the only way for states to realize sustained growth in gambling tax revenue is to open more casinos or legalize new forms of gambling, like online or even in the sports betting realm. When there's a new casino opening around the corner, Dedayan said, people go and try it for the novelty. After some time, as short as 1 year, it wears off.
But just like with Tidal, Jay-Z uses power and influence to get other people on his side. Fat Joe, who's also with Roc Nation, appeared at an 8-hour free buffet in support of the casino. Alicia Keys, who's also with Roc Nation, met with New York residents to talk up the deal too. Outside of Roc Nation, the project received surprising support from the civil rights activist Reverend Al Sharpton, who Jay-Z has been close with for decades. And despite the opposition from Broadway, the legendary actor Wendell Pierce, who's best known as Bunk from The Wire, lent his support too. However, an article in Vanity Fair pointed out that Roc Nation coincidentally pledged $15 million to build a civil rights museum, something which Al Sharpton is passionate about, and $10 million to support traditionally black theaters, a cause that Wendell Pierce cares about deeply. So it's hard not to argue that these donations from Roc Nation didn't influence those guys' decisions. And this article in Vanity Fair shared a fairly damning moment when Roc Nation tried to persuade State Senator Liz Kruger to support their bid. In a Zoom meeting on the proposal, she was asked if she wanted to meet Jay-Z, and her response was, "Why? I don't like his music particularly." They're like, "You don't want to meet Jay-Z? Well, you know who he's married to?" So when the novelty of being associated with Jay-Z didn't work, Beyonce was wheeled out instead. In the
You see how that went? Oh, you don't like Jay-Z? Well, we got some good old Beyonce for you. A lot of them don't like Jay-Z music. They try to make like everybody like Jay-Z. They don't. These people don't listen to rap. The people that he trying to appease to and he want to sit around, they don't listen to him. You trying to appease a bunch of people that don't listen to your music at all, could care less about your brand of music. They think it's noise and trash, yet they grew up on heavy metal. So, right on the Zoom call, when they said, "You don't want to meet Jay-Z? Don't you know who he's married to? Like, don't you know Beyonce will be there?" That woman probably gonna give a damn about Beyonce either.
end, a community advisory committee voted down the construction of the casino, and Mark Holliday publicly berated the board as if they had blocked the construction of a children's hospital or something.
We met the standard and then some, and the only one with courage to stand up is the governor and the mayor appointees, and everybody else runs and hides. Go run and hide. Because what you did, the benefits you denied this community and this city and state.
Look, these are puppets. They were in there to vote down the deal.
You have to live with that history forever.
And children's hospital or something.
We met the standard and then some, and the only one with courage to stand up is the governor and the
Look, she's leaving, all the people on the board.
Mayor appointees, and everybody else runs and hides. Go run and hide. Because what you did.
Look, another one on the board.
The benefits you denied.
And look at him with the blonde hair on the board. Yeah, look, they know they puppets. They just there to vote.
In this city and state.
The vote was 4-2.
You have to live with that history forever.
And there is this sense that Jay-Z can do what he wants with his money, but he needs to stop presenting his businesses as some sort of moral crusade when they might actually be the opposite.
Because Jay-Z really tried to argue that building a casino would be good for Black people. And this is the issue with Jay-Z, Beyonce, and many Black capitalists, is they will do things that are only meant to benefit them and then try to act like it is something for the collective. If Black capitalists want to lean into the hyper-individualism of the moment and do things only meant to benefit them, have at it, I guess. But to continue to act like this is for Black people, like this is in any way going to lead to our liberation, is not just ridiculous.
So you'll see Jay-Z receiving a lot of flack from left-wing.
Yeah, I mean, he deserved it. He deserved it. Because, see, in this form and the way it's developing and playing out, Yeah, it's a lot of problems going on. Oh yeah, it's a lot of stuff happening. So while these developments are going on, everybody is sitting around on their thumbs, like, what's the next move? They paid out all these millions of dollars. Live Nation couldn't do their part. They couldn't step up to the plate. So now everybody's still like looking over their shoulder, like, we confused now. Where do we go from here? No one really knows for sure. No, a casino is not for black people. That's just how they try to sell stuff. If they were being real, instead of trying to, sell all this nonsense to people. Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, there's a lot that's going on. Yeah. What you're seeing is a situation where most people who don't understand, they don't get it. They don't get the situation. They'll never understand how the proceeds work or anything. Casinos end up putting less than 1% of what they earn back into the community. Less than 1%. Mm-hmm. That's That's the part that people just don't get because the difficulties of it. You know, you're dealing with people every day that you don't know what the scenarios might be. Casinos are not the answer to building a community unless they have something in place that shows that they're going to put in the actual dividends and revenue into that community. Putting in 1% and less than 1% don't really do anything. See, we went through that here in Chicago when they started approving all these casinos. Now Chicago got they surrounded by casinos. And then people get pissed because the casinos is ripping people off. You got a lot of people with gambling habits. They losing a lot of their revenue just off, gambling in these casinos. Mm-hmm. That's based on the reputation. You see, that's what happens when reputation gets involved, and you're surrounded by all these people who are coming up with all of these new details that don't mean nothing. Now, let's get into the new Jay-Z album. Now, Jay-Z is talking about putting out a new album, right? And Jay got a new album. Oh, this is coming out. This is two things in one. Okay? Two things in one. This is a play. Okay? It's a play. For Jay-Z, here's the play. No, here's the play. To talk about Jay-Z putting out a new rap album, that's going to change the headlines, the titles, right? That's going to change the narratives into your favor. You're going to, instead of having Jay-Z just lost the casino bid, now it's Jay-Z's new album. Jay's working on new music. Now, Jay's not going to be the one to talk about that. Who's going to be the one to talk about it? All the people that Jay has association with. Who Jay got association with? Memphis Bleak, all these other people, they go on these shows and they start talking about Jay working on new music. Now, why would that be the case all of a sudden? Not saying that he isn't, because I've already heard that he was working on new music, getting beats and all this stuff. But this is, remember I told you, it has two-way meaning. Jay does this when it's time, the money is getting short, and they need to get liquid, and they're not selling off anything. It's time to, they got to make some money back up. because Rock Nation as a management firm, they as a company don't really have any money. They're just backed by people like Live Nation who has the money. So if you try to sue Rock Nation, you're not going to get anything. They'll say we have no innate value. We don't, everything we make, we write off. So we really have no money. So Alchemist has got him some beats. A lot of people got him some beats. So he's supposed to have been inspired by Kendrick Lamar at the halftime of the Super Bowl. And he's like, Kendrick got me inspired. Like the chariots of fire, my heart is on fire. Yeah, so he just was in there mumbling. Like he be in there mumbling. You know, like he basically writing raps. And, you know, Memphis Bleak know like, oh, you working on something. Just say me a verse. So he just said, all right. And that was that. So, yeah, Jay's probably still working on the album. I believe it. But putting that out right now in the media, he's using that to try to change the narrative of everybody talking about him losing the casino. Because, you know, Jay don't want to take a loss. Come on now. Jay got too many criminals around him. So a lot of them with criminals around him. You just don't know them. You see a lot of these white guys, the majority of them are criminals. And they act like everybody got a squeaky clean record. These dudes do more criminal stuff than you could imagine. It's just all right when they do it. I mean, shoot, they be walking down the street sniffing coke in public like it's legal. They the ones got coke, pills, Molly, Oxy, 1,000 pills, sheets and sheets of acid. They got all these drugs, but they good people because they white. It's crazy. Now, like I told people, I'm from the city. I've been in both areas, the city, and I've been in, the burbs. Been in both sides, seen them both. Mm-hmm. The biggest drug dealers I ever saw were white. Now, yeah, the biggest drug dealers I ever saw were white. And they did it right under everybody's nose. Nobody was even looking for them. Nobody was trying to hone in on them. And it's like the entire neighborhood knew where the drug dealers lived. They knew, and they didn't care. Like the drug dealers would throw keg parties and everything. And you'd be like, damn, you just. So it's just crazy that how they police you, it depends on where you live in your area. Is how you policed. You black, you just police different. Yeah, you policed a lot differently. Teenagers out here could throw a keg party and drink liquor, and the cops showed up and let them continuously drink liquor. They was like, as long as you guys stay in the backyard and then you guys got a designated driver, you know, we're going to let you go ahead and have your little keg party. Just tell them to keep it down. It's about the noise. I know you guys are having your little graduation thing. Y'all can go ahead and do it. I was just like, wow, that's amazing. Yeah, because a bunch of white kids can have a kegger. Who went and got the keg for a bunch of teenage boys? They was like, oh, it's just kids, you know. College dorm, same thing. Frat house. None of them 21. They about 19, 20. But they're college kids, freshmen, getting drunk at the kegger. Nobody says nothing about these 23-year-olds getting these 19-year-olds drunk. But if somebody in the hood got an 18-year-old, hand them a beer, they trying to lock them up. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, man, come on. We live in a commercial society. Of course we do, man. That's just the nature of it. When you see Jay-Z, what do you think about? Do you think about him as a success story? Or do you think about a guy that sacrificed everybody to get to where he's at? He sacrificed people. This dude sold drugs to kids and women. He didn't care. All he cared about was himself. I bet y'all think Jay-Z whole family rich, right? They not. See, Jay-Z is not rich. I mean, Jay-Z is rich, but you would think he's supposed to be a billionaire, right? What's Jay's net worth? What they put him at? 2.6 billion, right? They put Jay at 2.6 billion. Why is your sister and them working? Why they got jobs? I mean, your sister's got jobs, B. Your net worth is 2.6 billion and your family got to work and they were still in the hood? He bought his nephews cars. Bought him 2 cars. Jack, the marriage was a sham. It was to leverage him. He leveraged Beyonce. Jay's net worth is 2.6 billion. Let's go to Beyonce's net worth. 826, which is really, that's not even the real number. Her net worth is way lower. They just added it to her. Hers is like probably 740. me see. Ah, see, there it is. Now they got it at 780 here. It's really lower than that. Now ask yourself, why would it be at 780? Let's just round it up to 780. It's not 780, but still. She at 780, Jay at 226. So Beyonce is at 780 million in net worth, and Jay is at 2.6 billion. Do you want to know why that is? Because Jay-Z don't put her in all his investments. He don't put her in all of his investments. See, Jay-Z has a financial plan which is different from Beyonce, and then they have one together. But he'll leverage Beyonce to get those deals that get him up to 2.6 billion. Beyonce don't own Ace of Spades. She ain't involved in that liquor deal at all. Jay would tell her, it's to protect you. You know, I don't want to tie you to all my brands. It's to protect you. We can't have both our eggs in the same basket because, you know, if I take a loss, we both take a loss. So therefore, you know, you do your things and you have your investments that, you know, that don't involve me. And then I have some that don't involve you. And we got some that we invest in together. And that's how we stay strong. Meanwhile, Beyonce don't leverage Jay-Z to get a deal. They want Beyonce. She ain't got to use Jay-Z to get a deal. Jay-Z got to use Beyonce to get a deal. Just like when they called her up, like, you get to meet Jay-Z. We'll have you meet Jay-Z. And she was like, I don't really care for him or his music. What? You don't like Jay-Z? Don't you know who he's married to? Now here come the leverage for Beyonce. They trusted and did business with Jay because Beyonce is his wife. They not that interested in Jay. Oh, have a dinner. You're invited to a dinner with Jay-Z and Beyonce. And then this ends up setting up a deal for Jay. Jay-Z, before he met Beyonce, his net worth was around 40 million? 30, 40 million in net worth. It was actually less than that, but yeah. It took a lot of sacrificing and a lot of stepping over people, the people that he's supposed to be repping. He sold out Cap. He sold out Dame. He sold out Benny Siegel. Sold out everybody who he had to get to the next level. Of course he needed Beyonce, but that's why he had to build her up. She already had Destiny's Child and they liked her from that, but he had to build Beyonce into something even greater. By building her into something greater, then now it's taking it to and upping it another notch. When before you wouldn't have even bothered. Like nobody would even be interested. Now it's like, okay, we could take it up another notch. If people figure it out one day, I will be stunned. Because you know why? Most people don't even think like that, B. I'm telling you the real. They don't think like that. And the reason that they're not thinking like that, because it's not in their mind frame. Their mind frame is this. I need to go back to the drawing board. I got to think about what I need to do for me right now, because this ain't working. I thought it was going to work, but it's not working for me. I'm going to have to go back to the drawing board. They're going to be, damn, dog, for real? Just like that? They're going to be, yeah, man, just like that. I got to go back to the drawing board. I thought I was going to have this on lock. I was going to have that on lock. I ain't got nothing right now. I need to come up with something. So this girl named Sylvia, she was the arts and managing director. And because she was the arts and managing director, she had a lot of relationship with people that would come on and promote and do the things they needed to do. And she had somebody that was really close to Beyonce. So Beyonce was like, well, okay, let's see what this is going to do now. So Beyonce had this big set, right? Because she had crazy taxes to pay. So when they did Cowboy Carter, they made it the biggest country tour ever, earning her about $400 million on tour without hardly anybody showing up. And they want to make you believe that Beyonce just got black people. Beyonce got white people that love her music. No, they just getting exhausted with Jay-Z and Rock Nation, like these other corporations and the things that they've been doing. So to get the public back and to get back liquid, they got to start making records. Beyonce had to earn this $400 million in revenue for the tour. Not to say she's taking home 400, meaning that the tour generated $400 million. But Jay was able to con himself into a deal with the NFL. And look what happened for him. Jay was already thinking, we're going to be a power couple. That's the ticket. That's what we need to do. That's how we get to the next level. Well, people can say what they want. No, man, time move fast, bro. We already in the 4th week of the NFL season. Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. They already know what time it is. You know, like it's the general public that's caught up in it. Now, Beyonce said that they claim she by herself she got her own charity foundation that's not connected to Jay-Z. It's called Be Good. Well, it's Bay Good. And she donates a portion of the money from her tours and her various organizations, you know, tax write-offs that go to the Flint water crisis. And she put $2 million in scholarships for Black colleges and $6 million for COVID-19 relief. Well, all of the businesses started to flop. She had Parkwood Entertainment when she started opening up Parkwood. That's the only thing that's really been doing something for her because they actually been putting out her concert movies, basically copying Taylor Swift by doing the concert movies. And then she got the renaissance of film by Beyonce. Black people ran out, Black women. Now you got Black women out here with cowboy hats on. It's crazy. So her and Adidas parted ways, and then the Wall Street Journal reported that she made $20 million from the brand when they split from Adidas, despite all the sales being dropped. Then she got with Balmain Collection, and she started to go with Sir Davis Whiskey, which has nothing to do with the hair brand thing she got, that Jay-Z's not connected into that. Well, she's got limited appearances in her liquor company because if she's linked to that, she named it Davis Hugh. That was like her great grandfather. He was a farmer and a moonshiner. So she says it's important to continue the same approach she took with her music, but she does less promotions for that because they don't really pay her. Even though it's her own company, she don't want to be just linked into liquor. You know, she still got teenage girls looking up to her. Then she went to endorse Kamala Harris with Kelly Rowland in there dressed up in a man suit. They have suits for women, by the way. Why did Kelly feel she has to be in a man suit? Your guess is as good as mine. So, now you know the truth. Hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to sign up to the Patreon, which is Carcino for Life. We got more coming. Appreciate y'all time, and I'm out.